Yo, 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 what's going on, good people? It's your homie Herbman. Here you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. Hey, look, if this is your first time tuning in to the Herbman Show, go ahead and hit that logo right at the bottom of your screen right there and hit that notification bell so that you never ever miss what we bring to the platform. All right. Now, what we're talking about today is something very, very important. It is something that has been known in the Chinese traditional medicine world, where we understand that they diagnose us as far as what we like to call temperatures: hot, cold, dry, and wet. Okay, and these four humors, so to speak, are going to tell whether or what type of issue you may be dealing with. Okay, and this is something very useful for us in the herbal world. Okay, because there are herbs that can cool you down. All right, there are herbs that can heat you up. There are herbs that can dry you out, and there are herbs that can provide mucus back into your body, okay, which is that wetness, okay. And so you want to know those types of things if you're dealing with these types of symptoms, okay. Now you're going to have to go through the diagnostic process in order to know exactly what diseases, what issues or what illnesses constitute for being hot and dry, or cold and wet, or hot and wet, or cold and wet, cold and dry. Okay, so you're going to have to know what diseases are which. Now, what I will tell you is that if you're dealing with a cold and wet disease and you're probably over the age of 35, 40 years old, those are going to be some of your hard to cure herbs, okay? And so you're going to really, really have to get a handle on that. Normally, you want to kind of stay in a duality where you're hot and wet, okay? So that you can you have that perfect balance. Okay, when you're getting hot and dry, that means you has too much heat. Okay, too much heat will dry out your organs. All right, if you're cold and dry, then that means you're having too much cold in your body and you're drying out yourself. Okay, so that element of hot and wet is saying that you're transitioning from one thing to another in the way you're properly supposed to transition. All right, so you got to know exactly where you should be and then know where you're at to know what you need to do. All right, now with that being said, I just kind of wanted to cover some of the herbs that can heat you up, cool you down, dry you out, wet you up, so to speak. And one of those herbs that can definitely cool you down is yarrow. Okay, and yarrow is a very, very powerful herb. It has been used with a lot of healers over the years. Um, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks like that. And we have this on our website if you guys want to get some, do your research first and figure out what it is that you need to do. So why would you use yarrow? All right, it is to cool you down. Okay, so let's say if you're having fevers and you're having a flu or cold that is raising your temperature, this would be a moment where you wanted to use yarrow. And yarrow is very good, not just only internally but also externally. Is good for sores and wounds and things of that nature. It has also been called nosebleed, okay, because it can stop your nosebleed or it can induce one. All right, so this is one of those things, one of those heavy hitters that you don't want to use until you have to. And this is not something that you would use every day all the time. This would just be when you're critically ill and need to cool your body down because your temperatures are running too high. All right, and it's also been used in methodologies to heal people from malignant what they call metastasis, malignant growth. Okay, and metastasis is basically meaning that there's a secondary growth growing in your body that is malignant. All right, you may have started here and then it's over here. So this is very good for that, and a lot to do with bringing circulation to the blood system, bringing circulation to your vessels. It's very good for varicose veins. So it is a vasodilator, and because of the majesticness of this particular herb, it has been used to help fight against malignant growth within the body. Okay, and so this is why yarrow is a very, very special herb. But again, This is for the cooling down of your body, okay? Now, when we're talking about heating up the body, there's herbs out there that some of you probably already know. These herbs are called acrid herbs, ACRID. And these herbs could be things like cayenne, okay, which is a very, very good herb to heat up the internal temperature, okay. Ginger is known to be one of those. Even chamomile has been known to be something that will warm you up and heat you up. You got things like prickly ash, okay, and you have also herb like called bloodroot, okay, and these are herbs that will heat you up, okay. Now, why would you want it to be heat up? All right, now let's get with why you want it to be heated up. All right, there are when we're talking about again those serious illnesses where you're having internal temperature, you feel cold inside. All right, those are not the illnesses you want to have, okay. Just put it like that. Those are not the illnesses you want to have. They're very curable as you're younger, but they get a little bit more difficult as you get older, okay. So heating your body up does one of several things. When we have a fever, that is the prime time for our immune system to really collectively begin to fight against the diseases and illnesses, okay. It's a wonder why when we get sick and have a fever or something that we're not really feeling like eating, okay. And that's a good thing, because when you're sick you shouldn't be eating anything. You should allow the body to heal itself and to go full onslaught to heal whatever the issue is in your body. And so when our body heats up, our immune system kicks into overdrive, and it begins to try to fight off all of the invasion of the bacteria that is in our bodies, okay. So I just gave you a secret there, that if you are dealing with any kind of illnesses, diseases, you may want to raise the temperature in your body carefully, all right, to allow your immune system to strengthen itself and get to the maximum capacity that it possibly can in order to fight off foreign invasion within the body, okay? This is a healing secret, all right? So when you're having these types of illnesses, you need to look for herbs that can heat you up, all right? And those herbs will be, once again, ginger, prickly ash, bloodroot, cayenne, okay? You need to understand and keep those, all right? Now, when you want to come down from a fever, when you're raising, your temperature is too high, you need to cool off. This is when you go to something like yarrow, okay? And there are other herbs here that I have written down for cooling off the body. And those are going to be things like elder. I know we've always heard of elderberry, elderflower. All right. You can use honeysuckle. Okay. They say peppermint, but I don't want you to get too acidic. Even with the ginger, don't get too acidic. But bone set is actually another one that will cool you off. A bone set is going to be very good for the bones, obviously. You got catnip, okay, and you also have what they put on here as chamomile, because what happens is, and a lot of these herbs, you say, well, you just said that about heating. Well, that's the thing. Some of these herbs have a duality to where it feels like it's heating you up, but it's cooling you down. Or it feels like it's cooling you down, but it's heating you up. Basically, what I'm saying is it may go down cool. It's almost like a peppermint, right? It has a cooling sensation, but it obviously brings more of a heating element to it, okay? And those are some herbs that have that duality like that. So you have to understand exactly what you're utilizing for which stuff, all right? Now we have herbs for drying out, okay? Let's say you wanted some herbs for drying out. Now the material medical definition for drying out would be anhydrotic, okay? Anhydrotic, anhydrotic. Now some of the herbs for drying out, you got too much mucus in your body, you got too much what they call dampness or wetness in your body. You want to use herbs like white oak bark, okay, witch hazel bark, uva ursi, which we have on our site as well. You want to do herbs like dandelion leaf, all right, which we have on our site. Green tea, all right, Canella sinensis, all right, and those are the herbs that will help you dry out yourself as far as and these herbs are also, witch hazel and all that. These herbs are also synonymous with astringents. Okay, so they're kind of contractive to the blood vessels, stop bleeding and things of that nature. So you want to definitely use these types of herbs if you are needing to dry yourself out. Okay, but you don't want to. You want to be careful with the drying out. Our bodies are supposed to have an element of mucus for transporting the blood, for transporting, to allowing our digestive tract to be intact and transporting the food through our colon. So you definitely need a certain amount of mucus. Even in our respiratory system, we need a little bit, but you don't want to have too much. Obviously, you'll be having a body full of phlegm, and that could be the first sign for a serious ailment or disease. You can have too much in your stool. That can be a first sign of ailment or disease. So it's a perfect balance. Once again, you don't want to take out all the mucus out of your body. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You have to have a duality. Okay, and you have to have a proper amount. All right. Now, when we're talking about herbs that will wet us up, so to speak, these are going to be your herbs that are basically your mucus herbs. Okay, and these herbs are what they call moisturizing herbs, or herbs that carry mucilage. And you probably heard of several of them. You got slippery elm, which is on our site as well. You got marshmallow, which is on our site. You also have kelp. Kelp provides the body with some moisture. You just can't use a whole lot of kelp, otherwise it will mess with your thyroid, because it just really intensive with the iodine. So you definitely want to be careful with those particular type of herbs. All right. So I didn't want to necessarily get into there's an onslaught of different types of herbs for different types of things. I definitely wanted to feature one of those types of herbs here with the yarrow. Again, we have a lot of this stuff on our site, but you need to know what state your body is in so you'll know exactly what you need to utilize to heal yourself. And this is one of the misnomers that are out there, that you could just go and buy herbs. And a lot of people are taking herbs for no reason, where they don't even really have an issue. You should only really take these herbs when you have an issue. It's a lot like medicine. They have the effect a lot like medicine. So you just don't want to be out there taking herbs for no reason. You need to know exactly what you need to take for what situation you need to take it for. Okay. There are a lot of people out there suffering from arthritis and gout and all those types of things, where yarrow is going to be very good for that. Okay. Suffering from high blood pressure and things of that nature, yarrow. Okay. But you have to know where your body is at. Okay. If you're too much internal temperature, you need to come down some, yarrow. Okay, if you're too cold inside and you need to come up some, you maybe want to look at cayenne. All right, so these are the things that you definitely need to know so that you can provide yourself with optimal information, so that you can provide yourself with optimal options, so that you can provide yourself with optimal health. All right, so go tell somebody about this video, man. And I love you guys, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And until next time, peace. Yes, sir.